Welcome back. The power situation has worsened as generation at state-run utility NTPC's several plants across the country has been hit because of recent heavy rains in coal-producing areas in eastern and central parts of the country and disruption of coal supplies due to continuing blockade in Andhra Pradesh.
NTPC is the biggest power generator in the country and accounts for 34,000 megawatt. It has been recognized as the #1 utility in the world in terms of utilizing capacity, but is now producing some 4,000 megawatt less due to fuel shortage. The company power station at Dadri in National Capital Region, Singrauli and Uchahar in the northern region, Vindhyachal in Madhya Pradesh, Farakha and Khalgaon in the eastern region, and Ramagundam and Simhadri in the south have been affected due to the shortage of coal. The Badarpur plant in Delhi is generating less because of shortage of water due to temporary closure of the Agra Canal. Together, these plants account for nearly 14,000 megawatt. Frequent Bandh in the central coalfield area, a 2-day strike by Coal India employees and continuous strike at Singareni coalfield as a part of the Telangana agitation from September 13 to 20 have aggravated the situation. During the last 1 month, supply from Singareni coalfield was less than 34%. Besides, mining and loading of coal have been affected at Coal India subsidiaries that are Northern, Central, Eastern and Mahanadi coalfield. These mine accounts for almost 70% of NTPC's coal supply contracts. Before the onset of monsoon, NTPC had a coal stock of 5.3 million tons, good enough for 13 days. That has depleted to critical levels, an average of 3 to 4 days in the absence of coal normal replenishment, forcing NTPC to switch off some unit at each affected plant to avoid running them dry and damage the equipment.
The government has said that the grim power situation in the country will improve before Diwali, as it has directed generation companies with surplus coal to pass on some of their fuel to feedstock starved units. Power Minister Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde told reporters that Power Ministry is taking various steps to resolve the power crisis in the country and is in constant discussions with ministries of coals and railway regarding the matter. With camera person Mohit Kesle, this is Tulika Rana for Power News, New Delhi.
The country's power scenario will continue to worsen further as the shortage of coal persists. The Power Ministry has estimated that the country has lost 4 billion units of power generation between April and September this financial year due to a severe dip in coal supply from Coal India and its arms. The coal shortage would continue to cripple the generation as there has been a minus 1.2% growth in coal production this month compared to what Coal India and its arms registered last year.
Coal India and its associate were expected to produce 347 million tons of coal in 2011-2012, but it might achieve only 310 million tons. Besides, Coal India is not loading enough rakes. Instead of 160 rake, it is loading about 140 rakes, leading to reduction in coal supply to power plant.
It is a temporary phase, and if we have a lot of coal reserves, if these are the production is enhanced, I think we will be in a position to make up the production. The focus is required that we should have mining capacity and we should have sufficient transportation capacity. These two things are to be focused, which is a problematic today.
The Singareni Chlorines company was loading 2 or 3 of racks instead of 30 racks per day. Times, the Andhra Pradesh-based company loading is 0. And the loss in power generation was going to increase for want of coal. Experts says for the entire 2010-2011, the loss was 10 billion unit. However, it has been 4 billion unit during April-September. It is bound to increase by the end of current financial year. The Coal Ministry has yet to sign the fuel supply agreement for the 25,000 megawatt capacity power plant that came up in 2008-2009, 2009-2010 and 2010-2011. Capacity addition in India's electricity sector in 12th plan runs the risk of getting derailed because of uncertain domestic availability and volatile international prices of coal unless immediate reforms are undertaken to augment coal supply.
The Ministry of Power is trying to attend to this problem, but they need to be done because that involves almost 20 to 30,000 megawatt of capacity, where imported coal in some way or the other, even for coal linkage given by Coal India subsidiaries, they are saying they will be able to supply only to the extent of 60%, 70%, sometimes 50%. And if these people have to import and the import prices are more, how are we going to handle their commercial burdens? So these are issues and issues of far-reaching consequences. If they are not attended to properly and in right time, the interest of developers, interest of lenders, interest of equity providers, investors would dilute.
To meet its growing demand, 12th plan target to set up 100 gigawatt of capacity. However, domestic fuel shortages, financial precarious condition of distribution utilities, and the issues around competitive power procurement process have emerged as a challenge. Also, the issue of adequate coal linkage to power project has assumed critical importance as nearly 25,000 megawatt of thermal power capacity is presently stranded.
In the next few years, you will have several coming up at a very rapid scale. Unfortunately, what may not happen is if the core sector is not planned well, then you may end up with generation companies not really being able to optimize or develop to capacity. So I think that's a significant challenge that the industry faces, and there are various solutions that need to be addressed, and one solution is the coal sector planning.
The alarm has been raised through a paper by Industry Chamber. The paper asks for allowing captive mines to sell surplus coal at market price to incentivize additional production and full-scale commercial mining at the market price through amendment in the Mines and Mineral Act. With camera person Mohit Kesle, this is Akanksha Verma, Power News, New Delhi.
The 12th plan envisions about 50% share from private sector in capacity addition. However, unless fuel sector reforms keep pace with power sector reforms, India's growth story could be jeopardized. The financial health of utilities and domestic fuel availability has emerged as the two most critical issues for the Indian power sector today. Immediate resolution of these issues with an eye on the long-term benefits is the need of the hour. Well, it's time to take another short break here. Keep watching Power News.